Hi guys, this episode is a interesting episode. It comes with a heavy heart, a very heavy heart. Yesterday I found out a good friend of mine committed suicide, and it's really strange that this just happened. Not even that it's strange that it happened, but ironically, I dedicated my whole month of September to Suicide Prevention Month, and just talking to a bunch of different people about suicide, and basically talking about my experience with mental health issues and suicidal thoughts that I have dealt with since I was a young age, since I was about 14. And it's been a topic that I've been talking about from the beginning of my podcast. Now, with that, I've been talking about it because it's something that I know that I've dealt with the thoughts, and then I know that, and I've met people through time who has actually had it impact their life because it was people that was close to them who had committed suicide. But this is my first time actually losing a dear, dear friend to suicide. And so it hits home so hard because it's something that I've been fighting to bring awareness to. I've been putting it out there and, trying to be a support system to friends and just letting people know, I'm here, you can talk, and just trying to get it out there. And to know that a friend of mine, even though it wasn't one of my friends that I speak to on a daily basis, but we did keep in touch, to know that she was in such a dark place that she didn't see a light at the end of the tunnel. And so today's episode, I want to just talk to people about being in that dark place and knowing when you're in that dark place, and other people that you're around trying to recognize when they're in that dark place. Now, a lot of times we might not pick up the signs where a person is if they're in that dark place, because if you've dealt with mental illness for a long time, you have become a master of masking it. You have become a master of putting on a brave face and smiling and, appearing to be happy, appearing to have everything together. And you deal with your demons alone in your house. Little to nobody even knows what you're dealing with, and you've just become an Oscar-winning award actor or actress portraying as a happy person. So with that being said, I just want people to know, if this is indeed what you're going through, do not be afraid to talk to somebody. Do not feel ashamed to say, sometimes I feel so sad. Sometimes I cry for no reason. Sometimes I just want to end my life. Sometimes I get these thoughts in my head. It's okay. Maybe the person that you're talking to may not be going through these things, but they may be able to point you in the direction of someone else who's going through this, or maybe they can help you. And if the first person you open up to doesn't hear your cries and understand, it's okay to find somebody else. Keep talking to somebody until someone listens, until someone offers you some type of help, some words of encouragement, something. Or if you can't find someone to talk to, go online, Google my dark place, Google suicidal thoughts, Google help. Just find something, because there's another choice. You can choose to live. I understand where it is when you're in that place. The darkest place is a very lonely place where your mind is telling you a bunch of lies and stories. Your mind is telling you that, hey, if you take those pills, all of this drama and crap that's going on in your life, it'll just end. And once it's over, no one's going to miss you anyway. So go ahead and do it. Or this breakup that you're dealing with, or you're just never going to find love. You're never going to find a good relationship. What's wrong with you? Do you ever feel like it's going to get better? These are the stories that your mind will tell you. It will tell you that no one supports you. It will tell you that no one loves you. It will tell you that you're always going to be in a financial crazy situation. Or it's going to tell you the worst case scenario for everything. And you will be so sad and so dark and so depressed. And then sometimes you get into a dark place and you don't even know where it came from. I know with me, I get in these, they call it manic modes, where I could be extremely happy early in the day, and then by the afternoon, I'm sad, I'm overwhelmed, I'm crying, and I can't pinpoint it. And that's a really low place when you can't pinpoint it, because you can't blame anything, any one reason. Like, okay, the bills are paid, so it can't be that. I'm in a good relationship, it can't be that. I have a job, it can't be that. I have food, it can't be that. So you're doing this process of elimination of why you feel this way, but it's just a chemical imbalance. And if it's a chemical imbalance, it's nothing that you can do but go get help. So don't feel like you can't ask for help, you can't get help. If you don't want to take medication, maybe you may need to take medication, maybe you don't. That's why I'm an advocate for pushing meditation, because sometimes when you just get into that quiet space, the answers will come to you. If you could just breathe, the universe will come and save you and turn that light back on. You do not have to be in that dark place by yourself. You do not have to go to your lowest. There's someone out there, even if it's not a physical person, there is an energy out there that will help you and bring you out of this moment. It is a daily, sometimes moment to moment struggle to just be happy, to just find peace, to just feel alive. Sometimes it's a struggle to smile. Sometimes it's a struggle to get out of the bed. And that's okay. If that's what's going on, it's fine. Don't judge yourself. Don't beat up on yourself. Talk to somebody. Look for some resources and just get to that next step. Because you do not have to take your life. You do not. You are here for a reason. You have a purpose. You have a story to tell. You are an infinite being that was brought here to do major work and to bring life and love to others. If you have children, you're here for them. You're here to guide them to their next step in their journey on in this life. If if you have a husband, if you have friends, if you have anybody, and if you don't have any of that, you have you. You have your inner being. You have your source. Source is within you, and the angels are around you to support you and to help you. You are not alone. Even if you feel that you are physically alone and you look around you and you don't see a soul, you are not alone. You have infinite energy that's surrounding you, that's waiting for you to just let them in to help you. It is okay to be in these places. And if you're around someone and you see that this person is not acting like their self and they're saying things that seem a little off, you need to dig and investigate and really talk to these people. Talk to the people that's in your life. Even if it's a person that's not in your life and you just happen to be scrolling on Facebook and this person seems that their timeline is getting a little dark, reach out to them. You don't have to get in their business and say, oh, you sound real dark, I need to talk to you. Just be like, hey, how are you? Just checking in. That's all you need to do, because it's like it can make such a difference. And, I mentioned one time before that I was in one of those dark places where I just thought that today is the day. I'm just going to end this. I can't do this no more. And I can't even really tell you what was going on at that time. I think it was like when I had got laid off, and I laid off from my 9 to 5. I was doing my styling stuff like in the beginning stages of it. And it was just a lot of things going on. But I've always had like either body image issues, self-esteem issues, not enoughness issues, unworthy issues. So when you got all these things going on in your head that keeps telling you, you're unworthy, you're not worthy of love, you're not good at what you do, everything that you do fails, and then evidence of it manifests in your life, it's really easy to be like, you know what? My mind is telling me the truth because I have the evidence right in front of me that's telling me that I'm not worthy of love because I'm not with anybody. I'm single. I don't have any kids. I'm not married. I'm not in a relationship. So maybe, I'm falling out with friends and don't have the best relationship with them. So maybe I'm not worthy of love, because the mind will find different ways to confirm these thoughts that it's giving you. And all of this stuff is so untrue, because in that moment when I was going through that, okay, this is it, I'm going to do this, and I'm looking around, and only thing I have in my house is some melatonin that is totally not going to take you out of here. All you're going to do is have a very long sleep, and you're going to wake up to the same BS. So what do? So I'm walking around and I'm looking, and my phone rings, and it's one of my friends, and she's asking me, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, hey, I'm fine. Again, that Oscar award-winning actress pops into play and act like everything's perfect, everything's okay. And I'm fine. But she can still hear, this sounds like BS. Are you really okay? Maybe my performance clearly wasn't as great as I thought it was, but I thought it was, because she saw right through it and she continued to ask me. And that's when I broke down and told her what I was in the process of trying to do. And she broke down and she was like, I love you so much. I don't know what I would do without you. And that's how most people that's in your life would feel if you took your life, if you left here untimely because of sadness and hurt. There will be so many hurt people around you because they actually do love you. And I'm not saying that you have to live for the next person or because of their love and this, that, and the third, or feel like, oh, if I take my life, I'm being selfish. And that's another thing that people that don't understand a person committing suicide, or a person who doesn't understand mental health issues or bipolar disorder. If you don't understand it and you say that the person who committed suicide was selfish, in turn, your thoughts of that is selfish, because you're thinking about how it affected you. Now, when I found out that my friend committed suicide last night, well, she didn't commit suicide last night, but I found out about it last night. The first thing I thought was, oh my God, I didn't know she was in such a dark place. Oh my God, I'm so sorry that I didn't see it and no one else around her saw it. And I'm going over the conversations that we had several weeks prior and try to see, was there something that I missed? And so that's the way to look at it. The way to look at it is to say, okay, this person was really hurting. This person was really, really in a dark place. But the thing about it, it can be prevented. If you look for that support system, if we be that support system, if we ask those questions, even if we feel like we're prying and being nosy, if we watch for the signs of, this person is withdrawing, this person is not acting like themselves, this person is overcompensating for the happiness, or just something is just a little off. If we pay attention to the signs, maybe we can catch it. Maybe we can see that there's something going on. Listen to the conversation. What is this person saying? It's a joint effort. We're human beings here. We're humans that are being, and we're being in this life together. And we have to try to keep as many of us here as possible. I mean, I don't want you running out the door and trying to save everybody, but what we can do from the small circle around us is try to be aware. And if you're going and you're in these dark places, really start trying to find something to help you get out of these places. Start paying attention to how you feel. Start paying attention to at what time and in what scenarios do I start getting dark? Because a lot of times there's certain triggers. And with me, I know I have a trigger. I have a money trigger, money shortageness trigger. When I feel like my money is getting low and I start thinking about my past of being in and out of different people's homes and sleeping on other people's floors and not having my own place and being homeless. When I think of that, that is a trigger for me, and I go down. I go down and I go dark because that's my trigger. Then there's other people, and also another trigger for me, and just being totally transparent, when I feel lonely, when I feel like when I misread a communication with a friend or a failed relationship, that's a trigger for me. That's a trigger for me of sadness and darkness. That's a trigger for me because that's when that unworthy aspect of my personality kicks in, and it starts telling me, oh, you're unworthy of love. So that's a trigger. And then you got to find out certain people that's around you, certain conversations. Is when this person is around me, do I start going into this dark place? Does this person call my phone all the time with gossip? Does this person always want to get into an argument and fight? And am I in an abusive, verbally abusive or physically abusive relationship with someone? Whether it's a spouse, a friend, a family member, people can be abusive. Is this person a trigger for me? Is every time when I leave from this person, I feel drained, sucked the life out of me, and now I'm in this dark place? Because if that's the case, now it's time to take inventory and clean out house. It's time to get rid of these people. It's time to get rid of these toxic people who are setting off triggers, draining your positive energy and loading you up with negative energy and causing you to go into a dark place. Because even if you do have mental health issues, or maybe you don't have mental health issues, people can drain the life out of you, and they can be very toxic, and it can bring you into a dark place. It might not be something that you've been dealing with from childhood. This could be recent feelings. And if they're just recent feelings, then you might need to take stock of who's around you. When did this stuff started happening? What was the situations? Even if you got to start taking notes, take notes, but be more aware of yourself. Start noticing things. Find time for silence, whether it needs to be prayer. Regardless of what your religion or beliefs are, if it's prayer, if it's meditation, take out that time to have time with yourself so that you can start hearing the truths that should be playing in your head. That you are love, that you are a beautiful being, that you are spirit, that you are pure, positive love and energy. These are the truths. this is what you are at the core. It doesn't matter what you did in the past. It doesn't matter what you're doing now. It doesn't matter if you're an alcoholic. It doesn't matter if you are a prostitute. It doesn't matter what you got going on. Nothing, none of these outside things make you a bad person, that make any of the stuff that's going on in your life a reason for it to be going on in your life. You can't say, I remember I would say, well, I did X, Y, and Z when I was younger, or a few in my 20s. So that's why my karma is having these things happening to me. And this is my karma. This is my karma. Okay, yeah, we have karma. But yeah, there's certain things that just don't need to happen. So we just have to take, a closer look. A person beating you upside the head on a daily basis is not your karma because you was rebellious as a child. A person talking down to you is not your karma for, I yelled at this person. These untruths that we got going on that justify being mistreated is a lie. So I just want people to just really start digging into themselves, really, take time for themselves, really take time for friends and family. Just notice the triggers, notice the thought patterns. The best thing that I can suggest to anyone at this time is to get a hold of any Wayne Dyer book, Dr. Wayne Dyer, and Dr. Wayne Dyer will teach you how to train your thinking into flipping the narrative and the perspective of how you look at things. And I've said this many times on my podcast, and I'm going to say it again. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Wayne Dyer said that, and I think he may have got it from someone else, but I'm not sure, but I know I got it from him. And when I took that and applied it to my life, it changed everything. So many things that have happened to me in my present and maybe a year or 2 years prior to this would have destroyed me. It would have sent me down a downward spiral. But because of just that, those few words that he said, it made me put things into perspective and really understand that it's all about how you look at a situation. So sometimes the situation may seem so crazy, but find the benefits in it. Find the positives in it. Don't go to the glass is half empty. Go glass is half full. Just changing your perspective on things and how you view it and your emotions that's connected to it will make a world of a difference. And that's another thing. We have to get more in tune with our emotions. How are we feeling? Do a self-check. You need to check in with yourself. How am I feeling in this moment? What am I thinking in this moment? Do I feel okay? If I don't, take time for you to sit down, be quiet, do something for you. It is okay. You are a priority. Always check in with you and take time for you. Anything else can wait. Even if you got the kids and everybody running around, they can wait because you need to be full. You need to have clarity of what's going on with you. Be in tune with your emotions. How am I feeling? Am I feeling overwhelmed? Then that means I need to sit down. If I feel overwhelmed, why am I overwhelmed? Okay, but don't start overthinking and get overwhelmed about being overwhelmed, because if you didn't, that's the recipe for destruction. So if you feel overwhelmed, sit down. If you need coffee, do coffee, but I wouldn't suggest coffee because I feel like if you do have anxiety, I feel like caffeine is just like the worst. It just heightens your anxiety. I know it does for me. So I wouldn't suggest coffee, but maybe some decaf tea, something. Even sometimes maybe a glass of wine. I'm not promoting alcoholism either, but I'm just saying sometimes you just need to be able to relax so you can just lay things out. How am I feeling? What am I going through right now? What's true and what's a lie? What thoughts are truthful and what thoughts are lies, and really dig into that. Really take out the time to spend time with you, to talk to people, make that phone call, pick up the phone and call somebody who you trust, who you feel that you can be open with. And if you find someone and they're not the person, do not be afraid or embarrassed to try somebody else. Because when I went into my tailspin right before quarantine, I called a friend. They didn't answer. I called the next friend. And that friend was like, pack your bag, come to my house. We're going to get you through this. And, and I thanked them for it. And the other friend called back. But sometimes you do need to just reach out, because that can be exactly what you need. Had I sat there in that place and didn't reach out to nobody because I was embarrassed of being judged. Many times I've been embarrassed of being judged. No one wants to come off feeling weak. No one wants to call someone screaming and crying, sounding like a lunatic. But hey, if you want to live to see another day, sometimes you're just going to have to take that L. You're just going to have to call and be vulnerable and see how it goes. And I was blessed enough that when I gave my friend that call, she was there for me. And, someone will be there for you, but don't sit and stew in what you're feeling. So that's all I want to say is, this is dedicated to my sweet, sweet friend. She was a beautiful person, a beautiful light. It's going to be sad going on without her, but I know she is here in spirit. But it just pushed me more to know that it is my mission and it is my journey to make sure that we can save as many people as possible. If we can help as many as possible, if only 2 people hear this, I pray that those 2 people are helped tremendously through this. So I love you guys, and I hope this helped. And, if anything, if you're one of those people who are in a dark place and you're hearing this podcast, you can reach out to me on Instagram. It's Shatanya. It's at Shatanya Ami, and same spelling right here on my podcast. You can DM me and say, hey, I'm in a dark place, and I will be on it. Like, let's get you out that place. So know that you have a support system. Even if there's no one else around you right now, you can reach out, hit me on the DM, dark place. I got you.